Hey everybody, so welcome back to my vlog. This week has been a tough choice between modules. On the one hand, I could talk about library as classroom, or on the other hand, we have infinite learning. So let's go ahead and jump right in because I have a lot of thoughts to share. All right, so the library as classroom. I believe very firmly in this. I make a really big effort with my patrons to teach them something new every time they come in. I work primarily with teens, so I want to talk a little bit more about what I do with them. Um, one of them, I do 4 programs a month at least. It's every Friday, and so on fifth Fridays we usually do like an after hours program or something like that. But one of the regular programs we do each month is called Game Day and Crafternoon. And that craft part that's in there is because we do a different craft every month. But I try to stray away from like traditional crafts. When people think of crafts, they think of like, arts and crafts, like cutting things out and gluing things. And I try to avoid that because I want to teach my teens new things. I think that's really important. So each month I spend some time researching different ideas on things I can teach them, and I want things that will appeal to both genders. I know a lot of times people think crafting is sort of girly, and so we try to really break that mold. Um, I have learned so many things just so I can teach my teens different things. So I have learned how to make Christmas bows out of fabric. I spent a lot of time with some pinking shears and different fabrics, and it was really fun. I have learned how to make crazy things out of perler beads and then, ironing them so that they fuse together, and the teens then can make keychains. We've put out earring backings if someone wants to make earrings or necklaces, magnets. I've learned how to use Mod Podge we had a comic and manga upcycling box. So we took a bunch of old comic books and tore them apart and made light switch plate covers. That was another one. We did some magnets. I think we covered lots of different objects. It was really whatever teens could bring in their own things or choose from something that we set out. I've learned how to use a button maker. That was fascinating. I'd never had one before, and the library had one, and it was just sitting in a closet. So I sort of commandeered it and took it. And so I've learned lots of different things, and I have passed those skills on to my teens because I want them to learn when they're coming in. I don't want them to just come and stare at a screen and do nothing or, just keep doing the same things. I try to really give them a lot of different opportunities. One of the articles we read, Michael's article, Library as Classroom, quotes, "Where imaginations play, learning happens." I think this is so important, and this is something I really try to promote with my teens. What I usually like to do at programs is I'll give them a little bit of instruction, maybe show them the example that I made, talk briefly about it, and then I have all the materials out and I just let them go to town with it. Sky's the limit for them. So, for example, we have the perler beads that I mentioned earlier. There used to be an anime and manga club, so one of the months when that was still going, we put out an example of how to make Pikachu and how to make a Pokeball. So we gave them the templates and they could do that if they wanted, but we also had every single color we had. We have 25 plus different colors, and we laid them all out and they got to do whatever they wanted. It turned out to be really popular with both genders. That was really important. Like the boys were like fighting over colors because they wanted to make this type of Pokeball or they wanted to make anything, whatever it was. I think one made a Minecraft creeper, and so we saw everything. But what I usually end up doing when we do perler beads, we've done them a few times. Kids sometimes ask for us to do them. Like, it's awesome. We found something they like so much. So I usually pick a theme. We did them at our Halloween party, so I picked a couple of, I think I put like black cats and tombstones and ghosts and laid out templates for those who just don't know how to get started or don't know what they want to make. But those are never their only choices. They get to do whatever they want. I want them to let their imagination take them wherever it can. And because I think they learn more that way. And it's become obvious to me watching some of the teens who do it repeatedly. that they're really starting to learn. They have to figure out, they come up with some design in their head, and they have to take that and translate it onto a board, so that the pegs are all close enough together that it'll fuse when we iron it. So they have to sit down and decide, oh, this is what I want to make. Do I make it on a square pegboard? Do I make it on a round pegboard? Should I do it on the octagon? We have some other shapes too, but they have to think in order to really figure out what they're doing and let themselves create what it is that they've dreamed up in their head. So we really get to see that imagination. Whatever they dream up is leading them to learn how to put that and how that translates into the real world. The more that I thought about the library as classroom versus infinite learning, the more I realized how connected these two concepts really are. I think that the library as classroom really opens the door for infinite learning, because if you're looking at the library as a classroom, you're coming to learn. And if every time you come, you're learning something new and something different. So it really just sort of promotes lifelong learning. I was talking to one of my coworkers about it today at work, actually, when I was thinking about what to say tonight on this video. And we were talking about how patrons are coming, they're seeking information. And every time they're seeking information, it means that they're looking to learn something new. And so I think that these two units are really well connected, and I can see why there's sort of both to choose from, because they overlap a lot. So I guess basically my point here is that it is important to always be teaching. The library is a classroom. It's a non-traditional classroom, but it's still a classroom, because we are there to give information to people and to help them learn how to find information. I always tell my students, when I go out and do outreach, I do database presentations, and I always end with, we are here to help you. We are here to support you to find whatever you need, but we aren't here to do your homework for you. So if you come in with a question, we will teach you how to find that information. We will lead you through the steps. We will take you to where that information is, and it will be your job to interpret it. And so I think it's really important to remember that the library is a classroom, and that by being a classroom, we are opening the door to creating lifelong learners and to creating that infinite learning for our patrons. So that was sort of what I thought about this week. It was really fun, and I loved really looking at that overlap and reading through the articles and seeing how everything connects. It's fascinating. I loved it. So thanks for watching.